Hi, hello, namaste, hearty, welcome to yet another iLead Tax Talks. So, in my interaction with the clients who have small businesses, who are business owners, one of the frequently asked question was, Nanda, can I hire my kids in my business? So the answer is yes. So today, I thought that let me give you some insights into hiring kids in your business, especially if it is an LLC. Okay, so let's dive into it. So here, what are the tax benefits? What are the tax benefits of hiring kids into your LLC? The first thing is it's a tax deduction for business. Whatever wages you're paying to your kids, to your child, they are deductible as business expenses, reducing your overall LLC's taxable income. That's the first thing. So it comes as a tax deduction. So whatever wages you are paying to your kid, that comes as a tax deductible business expense. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's a tax free income to the child in case you are paying wages only up to the limit of standard deduction. And for 2025, the standard deduction for one child, for one person, is $15,000. So the child need not pay any federal income tax on that because up to $15,000 that is completely exempt. Then, third one, there are no payroll taxes. No payroll taxes, especially if your business entity is an LLC. I think in the earlier iLead tax talks I have spoken about different types of business entities, like what is LLC, what are the benefits of it, what is an S corporation, what is a C corp, how does a partnership work, how does a sole proprietorship work. So if you go back and check the iLead tax planners playlist in our YouTube channel, you will find all the videos there. So I'm not going to talk again on what is an LLC, what is an S corporation and all. In case you have any questions, please write to me, ask Nanda at ileadtax.com. We will schedule a call and I'll be happy to clarify you on that. Now here, no payroll taxes in some cases. So what it means to say is, if your LLC is taxed as a sole proprietorship or partnership, wherein both spouses, means both mom and dad, both husband and wife, are the only partners and your child is under 18, then you need not withhold any FICA taxes, that is your social security taxes or Medicare taxes. Even FUTA taxes are not applicable. Right? I'll tell you in a while, what are FICA and then what are FUTA. Then the fourth benefit is kids can fund for Roth IRA. Kids can fund for Roth IRA. So your child can contribute to a Roth IRA, building tax-free retirement savings from a very early age. And it also teaches kids the responsibility, work ethics, and money management, especially the financial literacy develops in the kids. They can use their own money to fund for their education also. You get a tax saving and that gets to be paid for their education also in the future, if only you can structure it properly. Now, one word of caution is it is not ideal if your LLC is a S corp, is an S corporation, because when you hire your kids in your business, you can assess special payroll tax exemptions, but only if the business is a sole proprietorship or partnership with only the parents as partners. Okay, so four key benefits is what I have listed in this. Okay, so don't expect me to give you a full gambit of tax savings in this small video. This is for you to refresh and come back to me with more questions if at all you have on this particular topic. Now, Nanda, I have an LLC. I mean, I have a S corp or an LLC which I have elected as S corp. So how does it work? Will it help me in the FICA taxes? How does it work? See, already if you see S corporation, they are exempt from self-employment taxes. S corporation, that's the beauty of S corporation, especially if you are a US citizen, US national, or a green card holder. S corp is most likely beneficial for you. However, if you are looking at hiring kids on the face of it without considering the other factors, it is less tax efficient. Because what happens here is the law mandates that FICA, the Federal Insurance Contribution Act, it must be withheld from your child wages. And as FICA means Social Security taxes and then Medicare taxes. Social Security taxes are 6.2%, whereas Medicare taxes are 1.45%. So this is something that you must be mindful of. You must be mindful of, and even FUTA will be applicable, and FUTA rate will be 6% on the first $7,000 of wages per employee. Of course, you get a credit of 5.4% for state unemployment taxes. So effectively, it is 0.6% outflow. Uh, but still, the FUTA taxes are applicable. FICA is paid by both employer and employee, whereas FUTA is paid totally by the employer. So Federal Unemployment Tax Act, that is Federal Insurance Contributions Act. Now, so you as the employer must also pay your share of payroll taxes, especially when it comes to FICA. So the tax-free labor loophole is lost in an S corporation structure. Now, what is the recommended strategy for maximum tax efficiency? Keep a separate sole proprietorship. Example, if you're a Schedule C business, you get your 1099 NEC or 1099 miscellaneous. Earlier it was miscellaneous. From now it is like from last 2-3 years it is NEC, non-employee compensation, right? If you're an independent contractor, so have LLC formed. Of course, the liability will be limited always. So keep a separate sole proprietorship in your name or jointly with your spouse, in case you want to have a partnership or something like that. And hire your children through that sole proprietorship or partnership, which is a LLC, single member LLC or multiple member LLC. Okay. And their wages, assuming they are like under 18, it will be deductible to you as a business expenditure, as I told you in the earlier slide. And it will not be subject to FICA, not subject to FUTA if under age 21, and usually federal income tax free to them depending on how much they earn, as long as it is under the standard deduction limit. So don't expect to pay your kids like 100,000 and get 100,000 deduction. No, it's just $15,000. So within the standard deduction limit or up to the standard deduction limit, you can always contribute. Now, what are some of the requirements? Now, some requirements here are that first thing is it must be a legitimate work. It must not be like some namesake, or you just formed it to evade taxes. Avoiding taxes is good, but you should not evade taxes, right? The child must do real work. Real work, it could be admin, marketing, cleaning, whatever, whatever work in your LLC that is operating with a proper EIN, employer identification number, track hours, issue paychecks, maintain a job description. So have a legitimate work, have that offer letter, that email, which confirms that he was hired and things like that. Next one, reasonable pay. If you're paying $15,000, is that really the market rate? You must know that. Wages must reflect market value for the job, and issue W-2 and file appropriate payroll forms. Anyways, we are there, your CPA will be there. Example 941 W3 and all. And as I told, if the child is under 18 and is eligible, in your LLC, you may avoid, FICA and FUTA. Otherwise, you will have to withhold and report that also, normally, as per the law. And finally, document everything. Document everything. One of the questions parents ask or the taxpayers clients ask is like, Nanda, what is the age limit of the child that I can hire in my business? So typically best for kids age 7 or older. That's what the law says. And depending on the local child labor laws or state laws. And I suggest you use a good payroll software, example QuickBooks Gusto, or manually track hours in an Excel sheet with the pay rate and then deductions. Anyways, at iLead we take care of all that. Now let's take a quick example here. Supposing you pay your child $15,000, which is up to standard deduction limit for 2025, and assuming the child is under age 18 and is working in your sole proprietorship, which is an LLC. So there's no income tax, there's no payroll tax, no federal income tax, no FICA, no FUTA. Three benefits: no federal income tax, no FICA, no FUTA, and you get a straight $15,000 business deduction, and your child pays zero tax if their total income stays below that. Zero tax. And your child can also contribute to a Roth IRA up to $7,000. So let me know if you have more questions, and I'll be happy to help you. Don't consider this as a complete tax advice. We need to check your family condition, your income levels, your age factors and all, and then advise you accordingly. In case you have more questions or you have a different tax situation, please feel free to write to us, and my team will get in touch with you. We can connect on Zoom, and let's zoom into your taxes. So I always tell my clients, review your iLead. Review your iLead. I mean, every quarter you got to review your iLead. You don't need an accountant for this. If you are unmarried, just sit yourself. And if you're married, sit with your spouse. Even if you're in a relationship, sit with your partner and then review your iLead if you trust them so much. I stands for incomes. What are my incomes? What are my incomes? L is my liability. What are my liabilities? Even includes even your credit cards. E is for expenses. What are my expenses? A is for assets. What am I doing, with my earnings? Have I invested anything? Have I purchased anything? And then D is my dreams. Where am I heading to? What's my purpose? What's my passion? So review your iLead. You don't need an accountant for that. You yourself are enough for that. And when you sit down with a pen and paper or in an Excel sheet, you will have questions coming in. And that's when you need people like us. Write to me at asknanda@ileadtax.com in case you have more questions, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Yeah. See you soon next week. Please subscribe to our channel. And if you like this video, please do share with people and let them also be benefited. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us today. Take care. Bye bye.